but you mean the world to me, 'cause you saved me from my
One beautiful day, in a bustling city of London, a young woman named Isabella have lived. She was a free spirit with a wild heart, always seeking adventure and excitement in her life. Isabella was a hopeless romantic and a firm believer in the power of astrology and the stars, often finding comfort in the alignment of the planets and stars. She had long, blonde hair that was the color of sun and eyes that sparkled like diamonds in the stars. She was a petite woman with a smile that could light up any room and a laugh that was infectious. On the other hand, there was a young man named Alexander, who lived in New York City. Alexander was a brilliant physicist, with a mind that was always working and calculating. He was tall and lean, with broad shoulders and a sharp jawline. He had piercing eyes that were always deep in thought and hair that was as dark as the night sky. Despite his love for science, Alexander had a soft side, often finding himself lost in daydreams and romantic fantasies. One summer, both Isabella and Alexander found themselves attending a scientific convention in Buenos Aires. The convention was held in a grand hall, with rows of seats facing a large stage. The walls were adorned with posters and displays of science, and the air was filled with the buzz of excited voices. Isabella and Alexander were both presenting their research, she on the correlation between star signs, and he on the unification of quantum mechanics. As Isabella walked through the crowded hall, she accidentally bumped into Alexander, causing him to fall and scatter all of his papers into the air. She reached out to help him gather his papers, and as they both stood up, their eyes met.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Though, I think my dignity took a bigger hit than my body.
I'm really sorry about that. Let me help you gather your papers.
As they bent down to pick up the scattered papers, Alexander noticed Isabella's name tag and saw that she was presenting on astrology and star signs.
Astrology and star signs? That's an interesting topic. By the way, I'm a physicist.
Really? That's fascinating. I love science, but I have a soft spot for the stars.
Isabella felt guilty about causing Alexander to fall, so she asked him if he wanted to grab a coffee with her to make up for it. Alexander agreed, and the two of them talked for hours, laughing and learning about each other's passions and interests. The cafe was located in the heart of Buenos Aires, surrounded by beautiful colonial buildings and tree-lined streets. The interior of the cafe was cozy and intimate, with vintage furniture and soft lighting. The walls were adorned with original oil paintings and photographs of the city, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. They walked in and they were greeted by the sound of the steam from the espresso machine and the scent of fresh-baked pastries. The barista, a friendly young man with a warm smile, greeted them and showed them to a table by the window. The sunlight streamed in through the large panes of glass, illuminating the room and casting a warm glow on the polished wooden tables. Isabella and Alexander settled into their seats and perused the menu, which was written in beautiful calligraphy on a chalkboard hanging on the wall. The menu featured a variety of coffee drinks, pastries, and light bites, all made with fresh, locally sourced ingredients. As they sipped their coffee and talked, they were surrounded by the sounds of the city and the gentle buzz of conversation from other patrons. The atmosphere was peaceful and relaxing, providing the perfect setting for their first date.
This is such a beautiful city. I'm so glad we get to explore it together.
Me too. I have to admit, I wasn't sure what to expect when I saw your name tag at the convention, but I'm glad we've had the chance to get to know each other.
I feel the same way. It's not often that I meet someone who is both intelligent and kind. And I have to say, you're not what I expected a physicist to look like.
What did you expect? A lab coat and glasses?
Maybe a little bit.
Well, I'm glad I could surprise you. And I have to admit, I was a little intimidated by your knowledge of the stars.
Don't be. I think it's important to have a balance of both science and magic in our lives.
As they sipped their drinks and watched the people pass by, they found themselves falling in love. Their time in Buenos Aires was coming to an end, as Isabella and Alexander returned to their homes in London and New York. They wrote love letters to each other, sharing their hopes, dreams, and desires.
My dearest Alexander, I miss you more with each passing day. I think about our time in Buenos Aires often and the memories we made. I long to see you again, to feel your arms around me and to look into your beautiful eyes.
My sweet Isabella, I miss your laughter and your smile. I think about our conversations, the way your eyes light up when you talk about the stars. I long to hold you again, to explore the world with you and to make new memories.
In the autumn, Isabella would sit by her window, watching the leaves fall from the trees. She would think about Alexander and the warmth she felt in his arms. She missed the sound of his voice and the way his eyes lit up when he talked about physics. She longed for the day when she could share her love of astrology with him and see the wonder in his eyes as she spoke of the stars. Alexander, on the other hand, was lost in his own thoughts in the depths of winter. He would sit in his laboratory, surrounded by books and papers, and imagine Isabella's smile. He missed her laughter and the way her eyes sparkled in the sun. He longed for the day when he could show her the beauty of science and see the excitement in her eyes as they explored the latest advancements together. As spring approached, both Isabella and Alexander found new hope. One day, as they stood on opposite sides of the world, they both looked up at the sky and saw the same stars shining bright. They knew then that no matter where life took them, they would always find their way back to each other. And so, with hope in their hearts and love in their eyes, they made a promise to each other to never give up on their love, no matter what life may bring. One day they had both been accepted to attend a scientific conference in Tokyo, and they couldn't wait to explore the country and immerse themselves in its rich culture and history. Isabella arrived in Tokyo first and was immediately struck by the city's beauty. She marveled at the intricate architecture of the temples and shrines, and was captivated by the serene gardens and parks. She explored the vibrant streets of Shibuya and was entranced by the bright lights and bustling crowds. Alexander arrived a few days later, and was immediately enamored with the technological wonders of the city. He visited the Tokyo Sky Tree and marveled at the breathtaking views of the city from the observation deck. He also explored the cutting-edge science and technology of the city, visiting the Science Museum. As they were walking through the bustling streets of Tokyo, they suddenly found themselves face to face. They both froze in disbelief, unable to believe that after all these months of longing for each other, they had finally found each other in this far-off land.
Alexander, is that really you?
Isabella, I can't believe it.
What a coincidence. How long has it been?
Too long. I can't believe we finally get to see each other again after all this time.
Their eyes met, and in that moment, everything else around them faded away. They both felt their hearts racing, and they knew without a doubt that their love for each other was just as strong as it had always been. They stood there, smiling and looking into each other's eyes, completely lost in the moment.